Okay, did it... It should be working now. Alright. I didn't change anything between this stream and the last one, so there's no reason that the mic shouldn't have been working. I apologize. I just had to unplug it and plug it back in. So, as I was saying to nobody, yes, this is the same trial. We are picking up where we left off. We had just determined the jury went and threw a bunch of fireballs at the judge and hit the right side of the scales, causing it to tip towards the side of not guilty. And then our client said, "Oh, by the way, there was a girl in the cart with me and the murder victim. I just didn't mention it until now." And he's like, "She's probably like off on the side watching the trial right now." And then somebody from the audience threw a smoke bomb, I think, and then we all evacuated the court, and that's where we are now. What on earth just happened in there? Mr. Naruhodo, I've managed to find out what happened. Miss Susato, I was told it was an advanced form of smoke grenade, a type of exploding device that releases smoke. A smoke grenade? It sounds like the sort of thing ninjas use. They're just making sure everything is safe now. I think the trial will start again before long. But who would have done something like that? The police managed to catch someone who was trying to flee the courtroom, apparently. Wasn't that everyone? Everyone was trying to flee the courtroom. That's what happens. Flee the courtroom? Why? Well, it's a young girl of around 15, I hear. Exactly, Kunoichi. Which, did you know... Can I... Do I have a... Of course I have a... Nope, that's not it. Oh, because I need to go to katakana keyboard. That's why. Wait. Am I making stuff up? Hold on. Now I feel like this might not even be true. Hold on. There, that's easier. Ku, no, and then the kanji for ichi. So that is how you would write ku using hiragana, no using katakana, and the kanji for ichi, meaning one. And if you write them all on top of each other, it makes the kanji for woman. Back to video games. The other passenger that Mr. McGilded was just talking about? My thoughts exactly. So he wasn't lying. Oh, what's become of Mr. McGilded, actually? There are so many things I need to ask him about, but he's not alive anymore. He was killed. No, he's not dead. Then the trial... then they would just stop the trial. They'd be like, oh, well, it doesn't matter if he's guilty or not. I think he was summoned to the prosecutor's antechamber to answer questions without his lawyer present. That's legal. Along with the young girl. Who is she, I wonder? And what was she even doing here at the trial? She was taking a huge risk, and for what possible benefit to herself? There's another matter that's troubling me. What's that? The 20 pence. Oh, according to the coachman, Mr. Beppo, he apparently charged 4 people 5 pence each. 5 pence. He took 4 passengers that night at a fare of 5 pence each. That comes to a total of 20 pence exactly. But now it seems there were in fact 5 passengers, which means the figures don't seem to add up again. She's right. That is strange. How would a girl know math better than me? Whoop. Didn't read it. Counsel for the defense, kindly proceed into the courtroom. The trial will recommence in 5 minutes. Oh, thank you, officer. We'll go in straight away. Well, whoever she is, I imagine this young girl will be asked to take the stand and testify now. I really can't imagine what she's going to say, but it could alter the whole direction of the trial. We'll know soon enough, Miss Susato. Yes! Captain Falcon. We love to shout yes. You're that ninja. There's the young girl next to Mr. McGilded. Look. She must have been the one who caused the disturbance before. Well, after that rather eventful recess, the court will now resume the trial of Mr. Magnus McGilded. Now then, Lord Von Zeeks. Oh my gosh, I forgot. Forgot we're learning to count all over again. My lord. I believe you have established the cause of the smoke which veiled proceedings earlier. It seems to have been an advanced form of smoke grenade, of the sort typically employed by the army. Good gracious, the army? What in the devil's name? It was an elaborate attempt by a young girl to cloak her escape from the public gallery, but she was caught. If she had just walked out instead, that would have been fine. Like, right? I'm not crazy. She could have just, oh, excuse me, gotta pee. I'm out of here. Instead, she had to Darkwing Duck her way out and got caught because of it. And now occupies the stand. Your name, girl? My name is 3 question marks. Are you responsible for the smoke grenade which induced such pandemonium here in my courtroom? What is the meaning of this deplorable behavior? If I may, my lord. Yes, Mr. McGilded? I think perhaps I ought to explain here. I am the passenger who rides in the night. I am the one who stole 5 pence. I am Random Smoke Grenade Girl. Good old Darkwing. Was it a good show? I have a feeling it was a good show, even though I haven't seen it in like 25 years. Why it is that this wee lass was here in the first place, and why she tried to bolt like that. Oh, it's all tied up with the events of that night, so it is. Very well, Mr. McGilded, give your testimony. Oh yeah, I loved it too. But there are many things. There are many things which we loved as kids, which are actually not good at all. The Mortal Kombat movie, the Street Fighter movie. Pretty much anything that we watched. Pretty sure I even liked Final Fantasy Spirits Within, and I was old enough to know better when that came out. You will explain to the court exactly how this young woman is involved in the case. Just what did happen that night? It's not like a defense lawyer needs that information or anything. On the night in question, I took the back seat on the omnibus and promptly nodded off. Then big cowabunga, a loud thud and a wee scream woke me up with a fair start. There was a fella collapsed on the floor at my feet, so I sat him up. Wait, did you? He was on the floor and you put him in the seat. Okay. Cinnamon. Well, I mean, did the movie even have a director? Or did they just go, fucking whatever. Just hold the script in your other hand while you're punching with this hand. Just everybody do whatever. Who did? I mean, it definitely wasn't directed by a real person, was it? I'd have to look. There was a fella collapsed on the floor at my feet, so I sat him up on the seat across from me. Then I turned to find out where the scream had come from, and hang 10, what did I find? There is a child in there. In there? In where? There was a child in there, all curled up in a ball, hiding her wee self away. I remain somewhat baffled, I confess, but from what I gather, on the night in question, this young girl was indeed riding in the omnibus. Is that correct? Is the element that brings was that in Mortal Kombat? Was there a riddle and the answer was water? Or are you thinking of The Fifth Element, which was an actually good movie, I think. It's exactly as the defense counsel said. This last was the fifth passenger, my lord. Why doesn't she talk? And why did her parents, whose last name is question mark, make question mark her first and middle name as well? You didn't explain any of that. Very well. The defense may now cross-examine the witnesses. Are you ready, counsel? Yes, my lord. Or rather, no. I have no idea where to start. Oh, he threw a bucket of water at him? Just like in the video game. And when you first got onto the omnibus, were there any other passengers already on board? There were not. The cabin was empty, and there's no one on the roof deck either. You were the first passenger, as it were, I see. Aye, and that's why I took the backside as I did. 'Tis the most comfortable, so it is. Could you explain exactly what you mean by the back seat? By all means, 'tis how you already described it earlier. I'm talking about the seat opposite the one in which the poor gentleman who was stabbed was sitting. Like I said, it's the most comfortable and where I feel most at ease. Faded, what's up? mere moments after I told you, oh yeah, this is my stream schedule. I forgot my stream schedule. Or rather, I knew what my stream schedule was and forgot what day it was. So I meant to stream on Thursday and did not. How are you doing? And of course, I enjoy gazing through the skylight from time to time as well. Prosecutor is completely silent. Hold it! A loud thud, you say, and a scream. Aye, that's right. How can I explain it? It was like the sound of someone falling to the ground, that sort of noise. So you think it was the sound of Mr. Mason falling to the floor, having been stabbed? Well now, you remember I was asleep at the time, so I wouldn't like to say. And when the sound woke me and I opened my eyes, there wasn't a soul to be seen in the carriage but the fellow on the floor. Oh, no problem. I do not start on time. I would feel terrible if you were sitting there waiting for me to start streams, like, for you to raid me. You totally don't have to do that, because it's frequently, like, 6:10, 6:15, 6:30, 7 o'clock. All of these things have happened in January alone. Starting the stream an hour late? Yes. Very yes. You didn't see anyone. But at the same moment, you did hear a scream? From the seats above you on the roof deck, I presume. Not above me, no, my lord. 'Twas from inside the cabin. But I wasn't altogether thinking about the scream. No, I was too stunned by the desperate sight before my eyes. Hold it! You set him up. The victim, you mean? That I did, on the seat across from me. As I said, I could plainly see the poor devil was already gone. And you wouldn't leave a dead man just lying on the floor, would you? I would. It's common courtesy. I find that a little hard to believe. Ara? Uwu? Ayaya? Lord Van Zeeks, now why would that be? You awake to find a man lying dead at your feet in a carriage. Any normal person would hail the cabman. Any upstanding member of London society, that is. Well now, as you know, I'm in something of a special line of business. The business of lending money at exorbitant rates of interest? Unfortunately, my lord, not everyone's thankful for the help I offer them, and some would even see me dead. So I do try where at all possible to avoid getting myself in a tangle with trouble. Are you suggesting you were just going to leave the man there? Cowabunga, no. I was always intending to report it, so I was. Only I had a mind to find out the whys and wherefores first. The whys and wherefores? Right you are. There were some details I wanted to understand before anyone else got to meddling. That wee scream I heard, for example. Wouldn't your good self do just the same? Yes. The scream he says he heard at the same time as the thud of the victim collapsing. I'm afraid I don't understand. I'm sure you told the court that there was no one else in the carriage except yourself and the victim. So I did, sir, so I did, as far as I could see, that is. What do you mean by that? Well now, 'tis a queer thing. The wee scream I heard as I woke up, it came from, if you'll excuse the vulgar expression, under me backside. Good gracious! Under your backside? And when I lifted the seat on which I'd been sitting, there was a wee cubbyhole there for storage. Mr. Naruhodo, we can examine the omnibus ourselves, remember? Yeah, I already did it, like, a long time ago. Yes, of course, the whole bus was submitted as evidence. This would be a very good time to have a thorough look around inside. And that's when I found her. Hold it! You say she was hiding herself? That's right. Oh, are we going to present it because there was no room in there for a person? I think we said that when we examined it. We might have just said there isn't much room in there. Like, not enough room for an adult, clearly, but maybe she's small enough that she would fit. That's right. It was hard to see in the dim lamplight, but she was all curled up in a wee ball. When our eyes met, well, my heart nearly stopped beating in my chest. You're really overacting this. Still and all, I pulled her out from under there and sat her on the seat opposite so I could have a wee chin wag with her. The seat opposite? That's right, just next to the dead gentleman there. You sat this young girl next to a corpse, sir? Well, as I'm sure I mentioned, a gentleman in my position can all too often find himself in mortal danger. So I needed to find out just who this urchin was, you see. And while I was in the middle of talking with her, I heard another scream, a fellow's voice this time. Presumably that scream was Mr. First, who was sitting on the roof deck seats. Right you are again, I would say, sir. Looking down through the skylight, he must have seen this young girl and the gentleman with the knife in his belly. In other words, the previous witnesses did not, in fact, see you at all, Mr. McGilded. What they believed to be yourself and the victim was, in fact, this girl and the late Mr. Mason? Aye, my lord. I was, as I think everyone understands now, sat at the back of the carriage, out of sight. It is certainly plausible. The defendant is somewhat diminutive in stature, and readily confused, perhaps, with this young girl. After that, of course, with the scream from the gentleman over us, the driver realized something was wrong and pulled up the horses. Thank you, I've heard enough. The events as explained are clear in my mind. However, at least one conundrum remains. Who is the girl? Her name is Gina Lestrade, my lord. She's a chancer, earns her crust among large crowds, relieving people of their purses. What's commonly called a pickpocket. What? This girl here, a petty thief? Order! Order! Is this true, Miss Lestrade? Objection? Judge, have you ever heard of the Fourth Amendment? Fifth Amendment? Have you ever heard of the Fourth Amendment either? Have you heard of any amendments? Have you been to America? Miss Lestrade, you will answer the question. Oh! Oh, it's gonna be like that, huh? How dare you? What is the meaning of this? Oh! She dark-winged ducked us. I knew I should have rewatched the series before I played this. Now it is too late. The girl, she's gone. Open your eyes. I'm over it. No, we already had that annoying accent. She can just be normal. I'm over here. Good gracious, how? What was the point in that little sidestep? I know what you lot are thinking. Grown-ups are all the same. This dirty little dipper, you say, she slipped up and got caught on the job. She's got herself backed into a corner, so she knifed the gent. Go on. That's what's in your heads, ain't it? She wound up with an accent after all. No, not at all. This is a court of law. We're here to determine the truth, not... This is a court of law. We attack each other with weaponry. In every Phoenix right. Whips, swords, technological necklace things, helicopter drones, you name it. You're not special. Oh, she's doing the thing. I can't do that, but I know someone who can. Look, knives are for cowards. Only thugs use weapons like that. All I need for what I do is these fingers. I'm a professional, alright? Maybe not in your eyes, but I got pride in what I do. Let me guess. You don't count smoke guns among weapons for thugs? So uncivilized. Oh, this? Yeah, this was in a bag I lifted the other day, down where they keep the four-wheel drags. It's nice, ain't it? I like the pink best. Do not wave that thing in my direction again. So, you admit that you are riding the omnibus on the night in question. I don't think she admitted that. Well, maybe she did. Maybe it was the first thing she said, and then we got wrapped up in talking about assaulting people with stolen gas weaponry. It is all right, lass. You can tell them the truth now. All right, yeah, it's just like the Californian said. The court accepts this girl, Ms. Gina Lestrade, as a valid and significant witness in this case. Accordingly, young lady, we will now hear your testimony, if you please. Who is, just so I don't embarrass myself, who is Lestrade? Is that the Sherlock Holmes? Yes. The inspector from Sherlock Holmes. You will tell the court exactly what happened in the omnibus on the night in question. Alright, if I have to. So we snuck inside the carriage before they hooked up the horses, just like always. But it was a right old waste of time. I got nothing to show for me troubles that night. I'll tell you, you can't see a blind thing in that hiding place. It's pitch in there. Then after a while, I hear this loud bang. Nearly jumped out my skin, I did. And the scream just came out. Because of that, this swell found me. He did help me get away, mind. Yes, he let you go. Falcon escape. I fail to understand why you would let this street urchin go, Mr. McGilded. Oh, 'tis simplicity itself, my lord. You see, she couldn't possibly have killed the other passenger. I knew that for a fact. How? As I'm so sure I said before, sir. I was sitting right on top of the place where she was hiding herself. I think a demonstration is called for. No, I understand perfectly. This is where I was sat on that night. And the cubbyhole of which you have spoken is underneath this seat, I presume. Yes, it does appear just large enough to accommodate someone of that girl's stature. Aye, but of course the wee lass was stuck in there, because I parked myself on the seat for the duration. Ah! So you see, that's why I let the lass bolt. I knew that if the police found her there, she'd automatically assume she'd done it. There was stuff inside there, though. I don't think I was allowed to look at both of the seats, but the one that I did open... Oh no, only one of them has a handle. What is this? I feel confident that there was stuff in here. This is a storage compartment, but there's nothing in here. It's totally empty. Something doesn't seem right here, but I can't put my finger on what it is. Like, I don't remember what was in there. I think there was like a rope and stuff. We had a conversation. There was stuff for reshoeing the horses in here. I bet when we cleared out of the courtroom, she or someone else came in here and emptied that compartment out. That's what's going on. Yeah, feed bag for the horses, stuff to reshoe the horses, yeah. Sneaky. That's very sneaky, and I I don't think I was forced to discover that, though, in order to make progress in the case. So that's weird. That doesn't usually happen in Phoenix Wright. That you could get to where I am right now without having ever looked in that compartment before. But maybe it'll be established somehow. But I couldn't live with myself if a young life was ruined when all the time I knew she was innocent. Even though you must have realized your action would result in your own innocence being called into question. Not at all, my lord, not at all. I knew in my own heart that I was innocent. So I thought it was worth taking a punt on my own good name for the sake of this less fortunate lass. My goodness. What a perfect gentleman. My lord, this fine example of a man cannot possibly be guilty of a heinous crime like this. I'm ashamed of myself for ever doubting you, sir. Have a fireball. Does that mean the... Okay, it's not over. With calm, calculated reasoning, one arrives clearly at the truth every time. Who is still... Is that everyone? What in the world? Saints alive! All 6 members of the jury consensual in their leaning to a verdict of not guilty? Does that mean the prosecutor gets to pull a lefty-loosey? Whatever it's called? Mr. Naruhodo, this... Well, it must mean... It must mean what? That we're victorious! We've won? You sure?
Objection!
He was the real Falcon Kick all along. There we go. He's the Falcon Kick to our Falcon Punch. If the sight of my iron-heeled Wellington offends, pray do forgive the discourtesy. This really is a consummate example of the one monumental flaw in British judicial practices. Where evidence and reason should be paramount, emotion rules the day. Emotion? The witness's last statement gives us a clear insight into his true nature. What do you mean, his true nature? Do you really think Scotland Yard would have made such a glaring omission? After the incident, the omnibus was comprehensively searched by officers of the police. Obviously, the interior of this cubbyhole, as the witness put it, was included in their investigation. The compartment under the posterior seat was full of the coachman's belongings. Oh no! Yeah, I dropped 1,000 frames. I think it's better? It immediately cleared up. Sorry about that. It's noted in black and white here in the police report. Good Lord! The evidence has been tampered with. In order to corroborate Mr. McGill's story, someone has unlawfully removed everything from under the seat. What? But I knew that. Don't react by getting juggled off of the wall. You knew that. I knew it. Order! Order! How could such a devious contrivance possibly have been effected, counsel? Ooh, good word there. Good use of the term effected with an E as a verb, because that exists. Naturally, we must acknowledge the deficiencies of the constabulary in allowing this to have happened. However, I assure you, when the omnibus was wheeled into the courtroom this morning, the compartment under the seat was greater than 0. Well, my Nipponese friend. Me? When the carriage was submitted as evidence, doubtless you examined it in fine detail, as would any expert video gamer. Pray, what did you find the condition of the underseat compartment to be? Oh, to be sure, the young gentleman will be able to clear this up in a jiffy. Sorry? Go ahead, you tell the court now, fella. How this is all an elaborate excuse by the desperate Lord Van Zeeks. Well, counsel, do you have something to say on this matter? I'm gonna mess this up and the world's gonna turn to sand. I just know it. Everybody get ready for the fin. How am I supposed to answer? What can I say about the state of that little compartment under the seat in the omnibus? Frickin' I didn't look. Some bullshit. Why is that even an option? What sort of fool would go this far into the game without checking? It wasn't empty. Well, it would be interesting to see. Like, this is different than most Phoenix Wright games. This is all happening off of a press, right? I pressed on a statement, and we wound up in this whole situation. And I could have missed that. I could have missed it, and, like, realistically, I could have tried lying right there. Because it would have helped my case. Actually, like, I guess as a lawyer, if it would hurt my case, I could just say, like, I don't have anything to declare, or whatever. Oh, and thank you, Shub. And Faded. I don't really know if giving this answer is helping my cause as counsel for the defense, but as far as I remember, at least, when I first examined the compartment, I'm fairly certain there were a number of articles inside it. Yes. Are you sure, counsel? Be whist, I guess. What are you saying now, you daft daw? I thought you were on my side here. What game are you playing? Your task is to defend the man in the stand. Why would you say something to compromise his position? It's like, I'm sorry, I'm actually not a lawyer. As the advocate for the defense in this trial, I confess I'm still not entirely sure where I stand, but it seems to me that I should state what facts I do know as clearly and honestly as possible. Yeah, he is not gonna make it in the law world. Interesting. Oh, 'tis not altogether pleasing, fella. I mean, dude. I'm simply telling the truth, Mr. McGilded. Well, don't forget you're supposed to be representing me best interest here, dude. Now then. A fellow's memory is a curious thing and not altogether reliable. No, the court must consider the facts. And that there cubbyhole under the seat is as empty as the devil's heart. You think perhaps it would be in your best interest now to admit you might have been mistaken? Why? Why do I feel like something's not right here? I should like the jury to weigh in on this matter, I think. That compartment is designed to house equipment used to maintain smooth running of the carriage. The Guild's rules state that omnibuses should be properly and fully equipped at all times, so it certainly wouldn't have been empty on the night in question. Beppo isn't that irresponsible. That money-lending fleecer and the pick purse are lying. Ah! I can't believe I was nearly taken in. You stinking rich are always stinkers. Nothing but cowards, a lot of them. What? Oh no! It's a trick. Of course it's a trick. You too? Quite so. I must concur here. getting fireball spammed. If I lose, it's because they're spamming fireballs. It's cheap. Cheap win. Hope you're happy, you fireball spammer. With calm, calculated reasoning, one arrives clearly at the truth every time. Yes! But every time a different truth, it seems.
My lord, I humbly exhibit the scales of justice. Clearly, a verdict of not guilty at this time would be wholly inappropriate.
Thank you, counsel. But before we proceed any further, there is the matter of the outstanding cross-examination. Counsel for the defense, begin your questioning of the witness, please.
Yes, my lord.
What just happened? The whole balance of the trial just shifted almost beyond recognition. The Reaper of the Bailey is at work, it would seem. Call it! So you were already in the omnibus before it even set off on its run? Oh yeah, I mean, what's the point of spending a joey just to make a few bob, eh? That's a rum idea, ain't it? I suppose she means there's no point in spending money to make money. It actually makes sense. Don't buy NFTs, kids. Counsel, may I remind you that this girl is a petty thief? Kindly refrain from entertaining her tenants. Oh, well, that does clear up the little mystery of the fares and all. 4 paying passengers at 5 pence apiece, making the 20 to which the cabman testified. And one little scapegrace? Alright. One little scapegrace riding for free. The red conch of a driver always goes for some grub before his last run, see? That's when I slip into the carriage and get myself hidden under the seat, nice and easy, right?
But your hiding place is a storage compartment full of equipment for the coach, no?
Yeah, there's brushes and buckets and whatnot in there, sure. I always chuck all that out and cram it in a corner somewhere. No one ever seems to bother much.
And yet, according to the report filed by the police officer who first arrived at the scene, the compartment was full of such paraphernalia.
Well, I don't know nothing about that. Like I said, I moved all that stuff out so I could hide under the seat. That's all I can tell you.
It seems we've reached the end of that line of inquiry. Continue.
Nothing to show for me troubles that night, you say? A waste of time? Why is that? Well, most nights I'm on my own most nights I'm on my own in the God permit. Maybe it's a Cockney rhyming slang thing. I'm on my own in the God permit, at least some of the time. I beg your pardon? Did you say God permit? Oh yeah, well, that's what my kind call it. You'd say the omnibus, I suppose. Will she explain it? Nope. The point is, in any normal run, the carriage ain't got no one in it for a while. And that's when you come out of your hiding place and get away. That's it. Only that night, this cove was sat on me seat from the start. And he didn't budge the whole way, did he? Not 1 inch. Not 1 centimeter. I was totally stuck. You mean to tell us that you were present in the carriage for the duration? You were under the seat the entire time while events unfolded in the enclosed cabin? Yeah. Right, mister?
To be sure, I was as shocked as anyone. You don't expect to lift the cushion you've been sat on and find a child now, do you?
So this Miss Lestrade couldn't possibly be the culprit then.